Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to Overseer, where last time we picked up this plastic tag from the cabin, which is now blown up. So let's take a look at that. See what clues we can unearth. Have we seen anything like that before?
This thing has anagram.
Have we seen anything like this before? I don't remember.
Unless I'm way off base, this is Robert Knott's top-level ID badge.
Or shall we go into,
Sylvia.
Yeah, we've got a couple places we can go. Let's go talk to Sylvia. Ask her about the photo. She's in the warehouse, though, which is one of these locations on the left. It's not the Fresno office, it's... Oh, or can I not go here anymore? I might not actually be able to go there anymore. Can we go to the Law and Order out lobby?
This time of day, the Law and Order Party headquarters will be crawling with people. I'd better wait until later.
Huh. Oh, of course. There was a delivery to a place I didn't expect to actually have to go back to.
Curious. This UPEX package wasn't here before.
And what is it? Oh, it's the stuff I need to solve the puzzle. New information. Murphy has been introduced to the Overseer. P333. Call used 2 codes. Braille alphabet. Every third or fourth word within a message, usually starting with a name or other first word.
It appears to be a Braille alphabet.
All right. So that means I'm looking at N, E, X, Nexus? Is this what it spells? Nexus.
Nexus? What does that stand for?
I'm not sure it stood for anything. But I surmised that it had to do with Greg Call's secret base of operations. Now I had to ask around to see if anyone knew about it. You'll never guess who did.
Tex, you don't have to keep me in the dark. Alright. So I guess, does that mean I need to talk to everybody? Alright, let's save our game. Nexus. Someone knows. We will, of course, start with Wanda Peck.
Knott's disc is unbelievable. You gave us just what we needed to break open Law and Order. Now, how can I help you?
How many different takes of Tex following Wanda, where she just kind of like slowly wanders over to this table, spins around, and sits down, are there? I would imagine there's quite a few, considering a lot of their conversations are based around Tex following her to the same spot so that she could return to that same spot, so she would be in that position for all the interview questions.
He's a hitman, one of the best and most dangerous. He's done jobs for corporations, governments, you name it. Interpol would really like to get their hands on him.
Greg Call?
Call is one of the leaders of the Mutant League. He's a good guy and someone that law and order wouldn't mind seeing out of the way.
Samuel Q. Jones.
Can't help you there.
How about Larry Hammond?
Sure, I know Larry. He's a real piece of work. He's a mutant and lives out in Freetown. I run into him now and again, and he can be a good source of information. I don't know how you'll find him. He's kind of a renegade programmer, moves around a lot.
Can you tell me about Slade's hit list?
You think Slade's working for Law and Order? If we can prove that, it might help us bring them down.
Photo of Sylvia and Shimming.
We are aware that Frank Shimming has a taste for young ladies. It's one way we've gotten inside his inner circle.
And Nexus?
I don't have any information on that.
This means I'm going to have to talk to other people. Dolores? I wouldn't believe that Dolores would be able to provide me this information.
What can I do for the world's sexiest PI?
Tell me about Big Jim. Greg Call.
Oh.
Samuel. Larry.
Oh.
Slade's hit list. Photo.
Well, of course I recognize Sylvia, but I don't know the man with her. Could have been just about anyone, I suppose.
Ooh, I can see the shade.
I can't...
So much shade being thrown on Sylvia. Eve Clements?
Hey, Lieutenant. How's it going? Bust any big-time criminals lately?
We checked out the Big Surf Lodge.
So?
It was vacant.
I swear to you, he was there.
Tell you what, when you track him down, let me know. Until then, get the hell out of my office and stay out!
Eve Clements again?
Getting ready for your hunter safety course there, Lieutenant?
I thought I told you to stay the hell out of my office.
But I like you too much.
Please. Eve. I'm walking in here on my hands and knees. I've just about cracked this case, but I need your help to finish it.
All right, but this is it. No more chances.
And then immediately end this conversation. Nexus?
I haven't...
Alright. I'm guessing we're going to be done with Eve from now on. Is Carl Zelinsky's house a good one? No, okay. So that leaves... Do the Anasazi know about... what do I need to know? Bosworth Clark is dead. Gideon?
You caught me at the last moment, Mr. Murphy. I was preparing to go abroad.
Camera shake. Where to?
That sounds good. You know, I've heard Amsterdam is great.
Everything you've heard is true. I highly recommend it. Now, I think I can spare you a few moments before I leave.
Do you know about Big Jim? Greg Call.
Gregory was my right-hand man when I founded Gideon Enterprises, a brilliant programmer. Until recently, he headed a division of the corporation. I heard that Shimming fired him, undoubtedly removing the last traces of my influence.
Tell me about Samuel Q. Jones.
Now there's a name I haven't heard in ages. I hired Sam to work at Gideon some 15 years ago, and after a decade of fruitful labors, we parted amicably. And then sadly we lost touch.
Larry Hammond.
I wish I could be a...
Slade's hit list.
I'm afraid I haven't heard of it.
Gideon, you're on this hit list. Photo of Sylvia and Shimming?
Well, this photo concerns me, but I prefer not to discuss it if you don't mind.
The photo concerns me too because of how terrible it is. Nexus?
Your investigation has certainly got you into some obscure channels. Years ago, well after the government signed the UNGP treaty, Gideon Enterprises bought the rights to utilize dozens of abandoned government installations. Nexus was the code name for an underground military facility located in Washington state near Mount Shasta. I don't believe we
Mount
ever
Shasta?
used the location.
Well, thanks for the juicy information there. I will have to go to Mount Shasta right away. Actually, I'm going to go to Tex's office, save my game first to Shasta, and then we can go to Greg Call's lab.
Nexus Base took a long time to find, and I won't bore you with the details, but the installation looked totally derelict from the outside. Once I found a way inside, I entered an underground laboratory that was brand new, state-of-the-art.
Was there anyone there?
No, but as soon as I stepped inside, I did hear a voice.
Stand by for system scan.
And this is where Tex, I'll stop. Yep, that's where he detects the implant and realizes exactly how wrong things are.
So those men that jumped you had put some sort of implant into your head.
Exactly. And it seemed like I was in the best possible place to do something to remove it. I started looking around with just that in mind.
Just that in mind.
Ah.
No pun intended, I'm sure.
Don't want to get too far ahead with that assumption.
Some kind of chart. Maybe watching all those ER reruns will finally pay off.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, there's a card on the clipboard.
Gideon Enterprises. If there's a card on the clipboard for Gideon Enterprises, why does it still work in a facility that Gideon claimed was
the implant
never
I'm carrying around is on
never
this
done?
list. It must be number P333. Now I need to figure out which of the kamikaze implants will neutralize it. If the implant I'm carrying around is on this list, it must be number P333. Now I need to figure out which of the kamikaze implants will neutralize it.
Clearly, the answer to that question is the N216, as that locates and neutralizes Type P implants. Yeah, okay, that's all I found so far. Frito Intel. Is that what kind of chip is inside this computer?
Oh, a chip-making device manufactured by Frito Intel. The two megacorporations merged a few years back and cornered the chip market.
Ah, I love it.
The special Mengele model syringe.
Alright. Looks like we still need to find some stuff. Oh, hello.
This was Greg Call's pass card.
And we need that for things.
Seems to be a large light panel. Man, talk about wired for sound. Art Garfunkel could rock on these speakers. Appears to be a recently clipped newspaper article.
USF professor dies in crash. Valerie H. Davis, professor of physiology at the University of San Francisco, died in a one-vehicle speeder crash Tuesday evening. Witnesses said the speeder veered out of control without apparent cause and struck a power line. The victim, who was traveling alone, was pronounced dead at the scene. Police found no evidence of mechanical failure and have also ruled out alcohol and drugs as factors in the accident. And it's something about Alcatraz. Charlie Gates, grandson to the well-known Bill Gates, was indicted Wednesday for what were termed violations of the Redmond Way. Was indicted Wednesday for what was termed violations of the Redmond Way. Apparently, Charlie broke into a storage facility for obsolete computer software, awaiting a different interface and a fresh new release to the public. Situated on some... Okay.
Link's LS mug.
Ah!
Got to play that one of these days.
From an excellent developer.
Man, talk about wireless.
Okay, yeah.
Art Garfunkel could rock on these speakers. The mysterious informant said I'd find answers to all my questions if I found this place. Maybe this computer is the mother lode. Rubik's keyboards. Putting the challenge back into data entry.
Implant removal system.
Implant removal station. Well, the IRS has always been good at removing everything else from me. Well, apparently I have to do something else before I can start the implant removal procedure.
Ah, hello. How are you? Although I don't exactly have the code or the password yet. Oh, hold on. I want N216, I believe. You know, I took the picture, but I can just look at this.
The implant I'm carrying around.
N216. Let's swipe the pass card here. And that's the top row.
That's the one I'm looking for.
Oh, thank you, Tex.
I guess Greg Call must have designed the solution to neutralize the overseer implants. Now I have to find a way to inject it into my bloodstream.
Why does it say N184? Should I be worried? Clearly not, I suppose.
These aren't the ones I need.
Alright.
You injected yourself with that thing?
I had to. Then I went into the scanning booth. The fun was just starting.
Alright. Let us save our game. IRS.
The green diamond must indicate the location of the P333 implant. I have to move the kamikaze implant into one of the blood vessels where it will appear as a blue cross. Then, I have to navigate it until it reaches the implant and neutralizes it.
Okay. So I need to figure out... Oh, jeez. Nope. Follow...
Those flashing dots look like trouble. Must represent antibodies. And I guess they're out to get rid of the new infection. I'd better steer clear.
So not that way to the right. I need to go left, up at the branch, down... Nope. Back there, down. Got a split. Oh, jeez. I lost myself again. Is that a split there? Can I go in from the top? Yes, I can. Okay, so that's right. Is that a? No, this is probably not the best way to do this sort of thing, as I'm just more or less hoping for the best, expecting the worst. Oh, no, no, no. Don't want to get hit by that antibody. Oh, that's just out the same way I came. What about this way? Maybe? No. Maybe? Hell. Let's try this path. Let's try this path, actually. Okay, now that I kind of have an idea how this works. So, goes left, up at the bridge there. That looks like it's a... But it's not. So, left, up, cross, and then maybe... So I'm at kind of like upper right, then down, right... it's like I'm it's like I'm seeing double trying to navigate this thing. Oh, hold on. Can I do through here? The answer is yes. Nope, no. There we go. Now I just have to remember what paths I took to get there. You were paying attention, weren't you, when I said the thing? And then I said the other thing. Oh, hold on.
I'd neutralized the Overseer chip, which someone had designed to be fatal in my case, or a controlling device to others. I still had no idea who was pulling the strings, but as I stepped out of the removal station, I heard sounds just outside the main entrance. I ducked behind a display panel and waited to see who it was.
Ah! It's the Informant, played by Clint Howard, who I would admit I felt was a bit too much when I played it this game when I was younger. I don't know, maybe I've kind of grown an appreciation for camp over the years.
Hello? Hello? Okay. I'm really not very good with surprises.
Well, it isn't my mystery man. What's your name?
Larry Hammond. I would have told you earlier, but I have some serious trust issues going on. With all that's happened, I've got the right to be a little paranoid.
Yeah, I guess you do.
You haven't been using the code name Poison Pawn, have you?
No. Why?
That's not important. How'd you get here?
I followed you. I wanted to make sure you came here alone.
Well, I hope you were more careful about being followed than I was.
Now, I have a very strong sense of self-preservation. I even brush my teeth carefully.
Yeah, it shows. Why don't we just start at the top and see what you know? Tell me about Carl Linsky.
Well, Linsky and I both worked on STG. But I didn't know him back then. I recognized his picture in the paper from when he had his suicide.
Well, that's helpful. How about STG?
It was a really mysterious operation. When Greg brought me in to do some programming, I didn't know anybody on the design team, and we weren't encouraged to get to know each other either. Once we got our instructions, we went off to work in different places. None of us knew what each other was working on.
So, who's in charge of this little circus?
Greg had been there the longest. He was pretty much running the show.
So is he this overlord I've come to hear so much about?
Oh, no, there had to have been higher-ups. I knew Greg for a long time. We were in Mutant League together.
Oh. Just so I understand something here, the reason you got in contact with me is because you wanted me to find Carl's lab, right? Why?
Well, early on in the program, Greg got really paranoid and relocated his base of operations. And no one knew where he was at. I didn't even see him until after I finished my work with STG. A couple of weeks ago, after all the mysterious deaths, I decided to go underground and get a read on my life expectancy. Well, you see, I was underground and Greg found me, which didn't give me a great sense of well-being. Anyway, he said he needed my help.
To do what?
He wanted to find the pass cards we'd all been issued. You see, all 8 of us received these cards at the beginning of the project. They were used to transmit data from wherever we were working to some sort of central computer. Now, the whereabouts of that computer, that was top secret.
Well, what about the chess moves?
Oh, I don't know anything about those. I think they were Greg's idea. He designed the cards.
And you've got a card.
Yeah. Here. You take it. Just holding the thing next to my skin just gives me the hives.
No, it's that polyester.
Really?
You told me if I came here that I was going to get the answer to all of my questions.
I said that? No, I was just guessing. I've got something that might help. Now, Greg gave me this the last time I saw him. Now, he said, don't open it unless something happened to him. I think something happened to him.
What are we supposed to do with it?
What are we supposed to do with it? It's your problem now. I told you everything I know. I gave you a pass card, and I gave you what Greg gave me. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go somewhere and try not to get killed. Hasta la pasta, baby.
Hey, Larry. Thanks for the help.
Anytime.
Why are you trying to leave through the scanner? Is there like an exit there that I don't know about?
So Larry was the mysterious informant. And he said he wasn't the poison pawn. Well, what was in the envelope he gave you?
There was a note written from Greg Call to Larry. There was more to the content of the note than met the eye.
All right. I'm going to have to figure out like what 3rd and 4th letter and all that probably. All right, in regards to Clint Howard's performance, I think it just stands out because you have all these other depictions that are much more serious. Like, you look at Sonny Fletcher, you look at Gideon, you look at Big Jim Slade, Wanda Peck, Eve Clements. Eve Clements has a little bit more cartoonish aspects, like the first time you see her and she's chewing out one of her officers. And then also her declaration to get out of her office is a bit out there. But, like, I feel as though, like, Clint Howard's character is the most stark in contrast to a lot of the characters around him. Ooh, what's this? Absolutely nothing. All right, let's read this. Also, he didn't bother giving me his
Larry's
passcode.
passcard. The corresponding scrambled password is written on the envelope Larry gave me.
Ward. Draw? Larry, I'm not sure if I should tell you this, but you can help me to figure out a riddle. This can be found out if you know my tendency to always pass along a good word and see what follows. Putting this message in a note was the idea I had first because of the letters you've written me. Good luck, Larry. I'm relying on your most excellent and proven brain to carry on in trying to achieve the ultimate goal. Okay. Stalemate implementation. Stalemate program chess match simulation. 8 chess moves available. 6 chess moves in correct sequence required to activate stalemate. Uses standard symbols and terminology. King captures queen, check B, bishop, check R, rook, A, H. The 8 rows running. Okay. RX E7, QX D7, which is the chess move we have. So we have 6 chess moves available. Sorry, we have 8 chess moves available. But we need 6 of them to activate stalemate. Whatever that does.
Carl told Larry not to read. Carl told Larry not to read this message unless something happened to him. There must be some sort of secret message contained in this note.
Let's see. Larry, if 1, 2, 3, if you 1, 2, 3, if you can 1, 2, 3, if you can figure 1, 2, 3, if you can figure this 1, 2, 3, if you can figure this out 1, 2, 3, if you can figure this out, my password follows in the first letters good am. Okay, I've lost my place. If you can figure this out, my password follows. In to the 1, 2, 3, first 2, 3 letters good am most. Do I have a pencil? All right, let's write down the first letters of each of those words. 2, 3. So that's I. 1, 2, 3. T. 1, 2, 3. F. I think I'm just kind of scrambling here. L. G. Oh my gosh, this is just a random set of letters. Or maybe I should be looking at every third letter now. Because it says 3 or 4 letters. Follows. Huh. Because that should be Larry's, and this is Greg Call's password.
Carl told Larry not to read this message unless something happened to him. There must be some sort of secret message contained in this note.
Okay, so apparently I was actually supposed to skip the sentence putting this message in the note was the idea I had first because of the letters you've written me. That had thrown me off. I was supposed to skip that because the passcode actually continues with "Good luck, Larry," and starts with the first word rather than the whatever word comes after that. Because the passcode is "Good am most brain in the," or Gambit for short.
To Larry, or whoever's watching this, I'll have to assume that my first plan has failed, and I'm probably dead. The purpose of this message is a warning, and afterwards my computer will reformat, so listen up. I've enjoyed a long friendship with J. St. Gideon. We founded Gideon Enterprises together years ago, and I believe that he is a good man and has honorable intentions, regardless of how I may disagree with his philosophy. For years, he has worked on a program called Overlord, a worldwide surveillance system which would allow him ultimately to control key political figures, thereby speeding up the world peace process. This was all made possible about a year ago. A breakthrough in nanotechnology allowed us to create microscopic devices that, once implanted inside someone, would allow us to control the physiological reactions, the chemical reactions, make the person a slave to positive response. And in this way was born the STG project, sort of a Pavlovian remote control program. We recruited 7 other scientists and put them on different phases of the project so none of them would know what the entire project was about. We gave them pass cards which would allow them to transmit data to a central Overlord computer. I found out shortly thereafter that John Klaus, one of the scientists, was intending to sell out the project to the Law and Order Party. When I went to Gideon with my fears, he disregarded them. Either he knew something that I didn't, or he was simply too obsessed to listen to reason. Regardless, I took it upon myself to implement a fail-safe program into Overlord, which I called Stalemate. Now, in order to activate this Stalemate fail-safe program in the Overlord system, all 8 STG pass cards are required. I made a plan to track down the other 7 pass cards. I started with Carl Linsky's home once I'd learned that he'd committed suicide, but I was unable to find the card. The thought crossed my mind that since Carl Linsky and John Klaus were friends, that possibly Linsky staged his own death and is working with Law and Order and John Klaus. But I can't substantiate that. At this point, I'm not sure who I can trust, outside of Larry Hammond and J. St. Gideon, though I'm not sure how much J. St. Gideon will listen to me at this point. Regardless, Gideon's program, Overlord, must be deactivated. If not by me, then by whoever's watching this message.
I knew it!
You knew what?
Sylvia was behind the whole thing. Oh, it all fits together now. Of course, Linsky staged his own suicide.
Okay, you've got yourself an interesting theory now. Play with it.
Well, okay. Linsky worked at the clinic, right? And, well, there's a lot of patients there, and, maybe one was in a coma or terminally ill, and Linsky finds one that is about his same size, maybe even looks like him. And I think that's where Linsky probably gets the idea. So he dresses the patient in his clothes. He, plants the wallet, the keys, and the suicide note on him. They, dump the body in the bay, and it's recovered, and who identifies it?
Sylvia.
Please, we're finished. Thanks. Well, did I get it? Did I figure it out?
No.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe so.
So, well, then why don't you tell me the rest?
Actually, I'm fascinated by your story. Why don't you tell me what you do next?
If it were me, I would probably go to the Law and Order party headquarters.
That's exactly where I went, because now I had Robert Knott's pass card. This time, there was no sign of our friendly night watchman, though I figured he was around somewhere. I doubted the coffee trick would work again, so I had to figure out another plan.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to stop here for the night, though. Got any suggestions for someone to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.